When you guys right now watch playoffs, what would you say to our teams the number one thing you take away from watching those games?
I mean, the playoffs are always like one level up.
Yeah.
You know that almost every night is do or die. I think you see every player, you know, living on every 50-50 battle.
He's competitive, he's intense. Yeah, I mean, Lindy has an ability to have a strong voice and thoughts on things, but not in a way that's overbearing or anything.
I'm excited to see Lindy. I'm excited to see the fans' reaction to Lindy. I'm excited to see Lindy getting angry and yelling at a referee for the first time, the building just erupting.
If the predictability with, you know, where we're going to go, and we can get there a second quicker on a 50-50, we're going to have the puck more. So, you know, I think it's all the things that you try to do during the year, but if you can get 5% better, there's a lot of things the team did really well. There's just areas that you have to improve on.
I think Kevin's passion for making this team a winner is just as great as mine. He understands that we have to do it together, that we have to be aligned. We have a lot of conversations about players and how we're going to play, and I tell him this is what I believe in, and we're probably aligned as good as any coach GM could be.
I think it's systematic. I think it's a commitment.
Yeah.
I also think it becomes a little bit contagious when you get yourself in that position where a lot of guys are winning battles.
An overall hardness where we can get defense from everybody. A Cousin can get into people, a Thompson, a Tuck, all these guys. We want to get into people. And when you get into people on a transition standpoint, you get in front of people and you cut their hands off and you get into their body, you stop their momentum.
I think just the way he ran his team, what he wanted in his team, discipline, respect, work ethic, are all morals that I've taken from him and have passed along to guys that have now coached.
He always pushed me to work harder, to do more. That's the message, and something that he always pushed for me, to separate yourself from the rest of the group.
Just another thing that comes across in the data is shot blocking and shot pressuring just skyrockets in the playoffs.
I don't know what you think, but just originating from the shot lanes, addressing the points, I see a lot of that.
The structure we're going to use will be a little bit easier for them to be in that lane. What we're going to try to do will allow that high forward and that side to automatically be in the shot lane. And then it's just a commitment to make sure that shot goes wide or it hits you.
That's contagious too. Like you said about puck battles. You start having a few guys start to block shots and the bench starts going wild and they start cheering each other on. It starts to steamroll on itself.
Well, this came up when I met with the leadership kind of the group at the end of the season. Matthias Samuelsson brought this up. He said, like, our bench should all be up yelling, excited when we have a shot block. So to your point, like that, and then that's contagious because now the next guy wants to do it because he does, he sees the guy in front of him do it. I think it's a big deal.
It's not about the individual success. Individual success comes through team success.
To create emotion and to create energy, like celebrate the little things in the game. Whether that's a good hit, a good back check, a good track, even where you screen the goalie.
And Kev bringing in, players that are harder to play against. I think Lindy is pretty good at bringing the team together, and they'll start realizing and meshing and sticking up for each other.
It starts to give those bottom six, so to speak, something to hold on to and how important their role is on the team.
And I think any good player in this league understands that the guys that are doing the hitting and the banging and the creating the commotion and the chaos and distracting, it's only benefiting them.
For the guys that are, scoring the 30, 40 goals, when they start recognizing what the other guys have done from the block shots to the back checking that allowed them to score that goal to win a hockey game, it makes for a team that starts to feel pretty good about itself.
I can't stress enough that my mind is very crystal clear on what I'm looking for, and we'll move as quickly as possible to get it done.
When the coaching change was happening, I, for some reason, just had a feeling that one of the candidates, if not the top candidate, would be Lindy.
I think it's viewed now as an opportunity because there is a lot of talent, and I truly believe, and I do believe others see this as well, that we're right on the cusp of taking the next step. And if you're a head coach and you're competitive and experience, that's something to get excited about.
You know, there's competitive fire inside of Lindy, and I don't know how you could just relax in Montana and say, no, I said no to that opportunity. He would never be able to do it. I think his wife would have kicked him out the door and said, go back to Buffalo and get it done.
What qualities does this team need in a head coach to take that next step that you referred to?
You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to one-on-one with players, articulate exactly what, as a coach, exactly what the expectations are when you step on that ice, but also build a relationship. And the players now, and I think this has happened over the last few years, they want a relationship. You know, I don't want to sound old, but when I first came in the NHL, like, you were scared of the coach. You didn't want to talk to him. And now, you know, there's a true relationship, and that's the way it should be, by the way. I love it. But that's what has to happen. So the next coach we get, that's something that I think will be critically important at the top of the list for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I felt that the next step for us needed to be with someone like Lindy, where it was going to be just this high level of accountability and expectation and more credibility of just who Lindy Ruff is and what he's accomplished in his career. And there's not a player in our locker room that when he walks in, he doesn't have their attention.
Very momentum is building, a reunion for Lindy Ruff and the Sabres, and here we are 11 minutes after 5, and the Sabres have announced that Lindy Ruff will be the next head coach of the team.
When I heard about it, I felt that he'll bring a structure, especially to their defense core. They have some good young defensemen, very good, skillful, but they definitely need guidance, and I think he'll bring that.
Buffalo's always been in his heart, and it's great to see him come back to this community. I think this is truly home for him. I wish him all the best.
Coming back to Buffalo like this at the end, I think that's pretty neat, and I'm hoping that they're going to have a great year this year, so it's going to be a fun for everyone.
He has been a Buffalo Sabres through and through for so many years as a player, as a coach, and saying you're coming back now even better than before, more experienced, more equipped to say, okay, we're going to turn things around and we're going to finish what I wasn't able to do before.
James, Cheryl, how are you?
Hello, nice to see you again.
You too, how are you?
Great.
Congratulations. Thank you. So, have a good one. Thank you. How are you, James? James going to give me some credentials?
Yes, sir. You should be in here, but yes, you are. You want a new picture? You know you got.
Give me one from the. Can you give me one from '79?
I like to think that I've been here forever. I was drafted in 1995 and I'm still part of the organization. But Lindy's been around for much longer than me, going back to the 70s. He's been around for 45 years.
Sabres had to make a tough decision about your development. You know, as it's turned out, I'm real glad I stayed. And you're playing with better guys, and you're always learning. And we've got the super coaching staff here. And
well, I was with the Sabres in his draft year, and he came in right away and made the team right out of junior, which didn't happen a lot in those days.
Lindy Ruff has certainly been a very competitive player for the Sabres. Not expected to play much, but when Craig Ramsey had the broken wrist, he stepped in there, gives him a little more muscle up in front, and you notice he wasn't afraid to get in front of the net, and also we're working very hard in the corners.
You know, I think you always look back at the opportunities you had, the real good opportunities. You look back from my playing days, the very first opportunity where we lost out to the Islanders in the semifinals, and you don't forget those moments.
The game is over, and the New York Islanders have defeated the Buffalo Sabres.
I mean, my career was muddled with a lot of injuries, and I spent a lot of time rehabbing from those injuries. And I think when you're sitting watching a lot of games, it's automatic that you get to critique what's going on the ice, and a big part of coaching is breaking down what's going on and what you could have done better. And then instantly from that, you go to I go to the Dallas, the Cup Finals, how close it was, how tight it was. You get beaten by an overtime goal, the other team wins the Stanley Cup, and you look at it sometimes that it was a missed opportunity. You ready?
Catch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good to go?
Now you officially.
Now I'm official? Thanks, James.
Anytime.
How you doing?
Good.
Good, look good. I don't remember, we kind of look pretty close, right?
Yeah.
I know
this is pretty well the
Similar to when.
Pretty well the same. Yeah. Okay, let's go on a walk.
Did you see your billboard?
I didn't see it driving in.
So Lindy called me and I said, "Are you the new coach of the Sabres? I just saw your face on a billboard."
Hey, Coach. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's it going?
Good. Good. You?
Long drive in.
Yeah. Probably could have caught a ride with you.
Probably.
A little bit right there, and then you got a smile, brother. More than you know. Good. Go big. Come on, man. Big smile. Come on, man. Awesome. That's cool. Let's do the jacket. Just like that. That's cool. Just like that. And you gotta be smiling for this one. Here we go. Yeah, right? That's cool. Awesome.
Oh, I think you might know this guy.
Well.
Oh, Willie.
Hi, welcome back.
How are you? Just do this for me, will you?
Sure. What are we reading? Oh, hi, Sabre fans. Lindy's back.
What's up, George?
Outline.
Come on!
We're going to be playing a lot of euchre together. How's everything going?
Everything's good. Everything's good. You?
Awesome. Now,
George, you got a photo of the two
George.
from back in the day.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Holy crap, did I lose a lot of hair.
Hey.
I want to see that.
Hey, we got something in common, you and I.
What was it?
We lost a lot of hair. Hey, a lot of work ahead of us. Okay.
Hey, Jerry.
Lindy, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, how are you? Yeah. How are you?
Good to have you back here.
Yeah.
He is the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, player, coach, person in the community. He's everything you want the Buffalo Sabres to be about.
Okay. Obviously, exciting, big day for the organization. I was lucky enough to spend 4 years as part of Lindy's staff, 2 years as a player development role where I kind of was learning, and then 2 years as an assistant coach. So I got to see day in and day out the leader, the person, how he treats people, the presence that he has, but more importantly, that he knows how to win and to push players to be their best. And that's why he's here. So I couldn't be more proud that he believes in what we're doing here, and I'll let him say in his own words why he's here, but I just wanted everybody here for me. So, Lindy, all yours.
First, I'll just echo what Kevin said. The past is the past. I'm nowhere near the same type of coach I was 20 years ago, or even when I left. We all understand, and here's what I'm excited about. To get the job done, to win now, for all of us, we need all of us. We need everybody in this room. You know, the players are going to need to play. The players are going to need to get pushed. I keep hearing the word accountable. You know, accountable starts with each individual. You know, a player can say, you know, I want accountability. Well, first it starts with him.
Accountability is always being big with Lindy Ruff. So much so that he once pulled me out of a game because I took a bad penalty. And he said, I told everybody, I'm sick and tired of bad penalties. If you take a bad penalties, you're sitting on the bench.
His number one rule when I was playing was be on time and you're never late. We were playing in Europe and you know, the time change and all that kind of stuff, and ended up being 5 minutes late. I came downstairs, you know, I was crapping my pants because I knew I was in deep, right? I might not even play this game. Luckily, he gave me a free pass because it was Europe and the time change, but if that was, you know, a normal game day, you were going to be sent a message.
I shouldn't have been pulled that game. That was total crap. Like, he should have kept me in. But it was about accountability, and I wasn't going to be, you know, different than any other players on the team.
By no means do I think this is going to be easy. You can ask Kevin. Kevin and I, first conversation, did I want the job? Did I want it right away? No. Do I like the team? I really like the team. I like the team. There's a lot to like, but we got to win now. And that'll be all of us. And I'll be counting on everybody in this room. So from today on, we move forward. And one thing we're going to do is work hard at being a winning hockey club.
Lindy knows how to win, and he knows how to take a team to another level. He may be the most competitive person I've ever met in my life.
He's the right person for this job, and I truly believe that he is the person that's going to take us to the next level. Our players are craving it, we're excited about it, and the hard work begins now. So I want to reintroduce the next head coach of the Buffalo Sabres, Lindy Ruff.
I want them to love playing here. I want them to love playing for each other. And I want them to love being a Buffalo Sabre for Sabre fans that I think are some of the greatest in the league. Good to be back. Good morning. Frank, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Let's roll. Jonathan, Lindy Ruff calling. Diana, Lindy Ruff calling. Hey Mark, Lindy Ruff calling.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
He'll go bull. That wasn't Lindy. James, Lindy Ruff calling.
Who?
Lindy Ruff.
Lindy?
Nobody's pulling a prank on you. It's actually me.
How you doing, Lindy?
And I'm doing great. Super excited about getting this thing going. I'm super excited about getting this team back in the playoffs.
I think you're gonna be fine. You've got some good talent there, and I think you'll get them going. And you gotta go to the net. You gotta get dirty. And the game has changed, obviously. For the speed is there. It's gonna have to be physical, and that's one thing we have to do better. That's my take.
Well,
That's it.
I think I'll bring you in for the opening night speech because I think you've got it covered.
Glad to see you back.
Well, appreciate that. Well, I'm glad to see you're going to be back too. I'm looking forward to having one heck of a year. Steve, Lindy Ruff calling.
I'm sorry?
Steve, it's Lindy Ruff calling.
That's funny.
No, it's not funny. It is me.
If this really is you, I'm going to tell you a story. On a Monday night in the Stuffed Mushroom, me, you, and Gillies had a couple of beers, and me and you had a long conversation. One of the fonder sports memories in Western New York I had.
I'm going to tell you right now that the Stuffed Mushroom was a place that we went. I'll share with you that we lost Clark Gillies about 2 years ago.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he was a good friend. He was one heck of a man. He was a great teammate.
I'm sorry you lost a friend, and I really do appreciate as I'm having this battle with cancer. It kind of made my day. Nobody's going to believe that you actually called me. And the only thing I could promise you is I'm going to fight this cancer. And I'm actually in a therapy place right now. I can't walk right now. I lost the ability. The part of my brain that was taken out from my tumors is the part of my brain that sends the messages to my legs. So right now I can't even walk. So I'm just fighting in rehab to get myself to walk again. And honestly, I cannot tell you how much it's meant for you to reach out like this. You were one of my favorite players and obviously a favorite coach, and I was rooting for you a little bit in Jersey. Again, I wish you all the luck now that you're back in charge. Can't wait to see the season next year. And I've got tears in my eyes right now. I really do. It really meant a lot for you to do that.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Steve, and you keep fighting, and I'll be thinking of you, and I'll say a prayer for you, and we want to see you back in the building.
All right, thanks a lot.
Awesome, Steve. Take care.
All right.
Bye now.
Take care. Thank you so much.
For me, incredible passion by a man that's dealing with a lot more than, we're talking about winning hockey games or winning a Stanley Cup, and to be so excited about just the opportunity to have a conversation about hockey and being a season ticket holder for the Buffalo Sabres and how long and when you played. And it just tells you the passion of the people of Buffalo and the season ticket holders we do have. So we're going to say hello to everybody?
Yeah, just
Okay.
say hi to staff, and we'll walk around, give you a little tour of the office.
Okay. Who was in charge of the digital thing where I was dancing on stage or doing whatever?
You're gonna need an umbrella. It's a little bit drippy.
Who did that? Was that Gabrielle? Gabrielle, right over
Come here, I need to talk to you. Come over here, come over here, come over here. That was funny.
Let's go. You gave her a heart attack.
Around behind the net. They jam back there. The game is over.
and the Buffalo Sabres have successfully opened the 97-98 season.
Lindy Ruff wins his first game as head coach.
I think when he first came in, it was really good because guys understood that we were a pretty decent group, and he didn't try to disrupt that or put his stamp on it, you know, right off the hop, and he allowed us to play. And then when he felt he needed to step in, he did, and did what he had to do from there. So there was a lot of times during that run, you know, in '99 when we, you know, made it to the finals, and Lindy sometimes stepping back and just saying, okay guys, it's your show. Instead of trying to coach every second of that run, that he had enough faith and trust in the guys that he'd dress every night on the bench to go and perform, you know, and lay that groundwork out and do the coaching thing, but still, you guys can do it, and put the trust and convinced us that we could do it. Is this it? Coach?
Razor.
How you doing?
I hope you're not coming back into play again, are you?
No.
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 Music to my
Every
ears.
time he used to come into the office, it was bad news, so.
Good to see you.
Well, how you been?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing excellent. Trying to catch up to you on the hair bit. You know?
I got to get onto that diet thing.
On the diet, it's no diet. It's no diet. It's called work for your wife. That's all it is. So, you know what Saturday is?
I happen to, Razor.
Do
you know what? It is the 25th anniversary when we went to Texas to visit the Dallas team to play in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And you know what else, Razor? Your birthday.
More important, it's my birthday. It's the greatest day of the year. Hey?
Second greatest day.
Second greatest day? Yeah, it was a pretty good time. You know, I think that, you know, then going into that first game, it was pretty eye-opening for a lot of us because, you know, most of us or none of us really had ever been there before.
It will be the Buffalo Sabres or the Dallas Stars, best of 7. Game 1 tonight on Fox. Buffalo, 7th seed in the East, but they took care of 3 teams above them and got here.
That was probably the area that carried us the most. Like there wasn't a lot of fear, it wasn't a lot of anxiety. There was just a bunch of guys that were, you know, I think we surprised a lot of people by getting there. But when we got there, we were a pretty loose group and ready to play.
One of the greatest things I remember about that team was we didn't have the superstar. You had Miro, you had Pax, you know, Brownie, these guys that were your scoring guys, but it was just a bunch of guys that just did their job. Dixon Ward, guys like that, Jason Woolley, Schmelly, all those kind of guys, retro, that just kind of just played their game.
You know, when I look back on it, we had a deep group. I felt we had 4 lines that could score. We had 6 defensemen that could defend, and you know, can't say enough about the goaltending.
And even in that Toronto series, I think we had 11 different guys score goals in that series. 11.
You know, I think the winning the Toronto series was almost more emotional than,
yeah, it was.
You know, getting to that, you know, the win in Toronto, and then, you know, that bus ride back from Toronto, and it.
I still say it was the greatest 2 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Was that ride from Toronto back here that night. Everybody,
Yeah.
we still talk to the guys, and they're like, the bus ride, the bus ride. And not only when we got to the border, you know, coming across and you know, with Dom hugging the border guy,
patrol.
but it was just so cool.
That was an incredible few hours.
And the Buffalo Sabres, for the first time in 24 years, are heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
How about that first game when Wolves, being the guy that scores the game winner? It was just great.
Yeah, and I think we got that from Wolves, you know, most of the year.
Yeah.
You know, but again, a big part of our success again was kind of the depth of our crew. That it just didn't have to be one guy, and at different times guys stepped up, and it was a big goal for us.
It was a big goal. You hear about it all the time. Trust me. Every time you see him, he talks about it. He makes sure everybody still remembers.
I haven't seen or heard from him though in a
I haven't.
while.
I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
Wonder if he knows. What do you say we give him a call? We'll give him a call and we'll see.
That'd be great. I haven't
We'll
talked
see
to
what,
him. I don't know if I've talked to him since he scored the goal.
Well, you're not missing much, but here he is. Wolves.
Hi, Razor. How are you?
What's
buddy?
going on?
You look,
Young? Skinny? Yeah.
keep going.
The exact opposite of you, right?
How are you, buddy?
Good, good. Just sitting here with Lindy, and we were talking about Saturday being the anniversary of our Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals in '99.
Oh my gosh, was that unbelievable or what, brother?
It was a good time, wasn't it?
It was was unreal.
Say hello to Lindy.
Wolves, how are you?
Coach.
Just sitting here talking to Razor, going over the that big goal you scored in Big D.
Round on the boards, tipped free and picked up by Brown. Curtis Brown to the Dallas line and over. Jammed it in wide of the net. Sanderson was slowed down. Brown keeping it in. Got it in front. They score! Jason Woolley! Jason Woolley! The shot heard round the world! The shot heard round the hockey world! And Jason Woolley has won the game in overtime!
Yeah, I never forget that day, brother. I tend to throw it in the old, pull it off YouTube once in a while and just watch it. Just the smiles from the bench. That's what meant the most. The fans going crazy.
Well, you keep watching; it keeps going in every time you watch it. So you get.
It shows the last goal too.
Yeah. Do you slide across the living room floor and a couple of fist pumps when you're watching it, or?
The only thing I regret is I just had no room to celebrate. I literally scored and then ran into the glass. There was nowhere else to go, so it was kind of a boring celebration, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's still a good one to watch.
I'm sure you're anxious and excited to get going.
Yeah, looking forward to putting this team in the right place and getting back in the playoffs and having these players enjoy some of those moments that we enjoyed.
Just watching that Darlene is just something else to watch, and now Byram coming over too. So
yeah, and I think the thing about those types of guys, it's just the way the game is now. A lot of speed from your back end, a lot of offense being created from your defense being involved, and he's going to be an important piece for us getting to that next level.
I just really appreciate you guys calling, and it's always great to reminisce. And if we could get some of the boys back, Lindy overtime, I would just say that as an alumni, it means a lot to us.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Wills. All right, bro.
Yeah, you nailed it. Good seeing you. Good talking to you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great summer.
Okay, see you, Wills.
See you, Wills.
Okay.
You remember who scored the big goal there in Toronto, one of the last ones? Wasn't it V?
Oh, I don't know. I scored the game winner here. Pass from Stewie on the hash wall.
Yeah.
Through the legs.
Barnes has it. Fires it over. It's 3-0 Buffalo on the Rob Ray goal.
Rob Ray, he gets a smile on the face of all the Sabres, including his own.
Wolves probably should look at that one too.
You've been watching that on YouTube too?
He's got a good run on what it takes to win, and I think he'll pass that on to the team, and he's always been that way.
He's my favorite coach I've ever played for. Sorry, Dad. I would do anything he asked me to do. I would go through a brick wall for him.
I was always a little scared of Lindy, and not just because of the history, like Lindy as a player, going after Billy Smith, like the whole thing.
To leave and still be loved by all the fans, right? And now being back, it's like, that's something special.
I got the utmost respect for Lindy. He's earned it. He had a great career, long career, great career as a coach.
No goal.
He came a little short here one time before in Buffalo, and I wish him all the best in the future.
I believe right now that the team is in the right place. They know what they need, they know what they want, and they want to win just as much as we do. It's just accepting the standard that we want to practice and play at. We set a standard and don't accept nothing less.
So, Lindy, what's it like being back in Buffalo?
Thank you! Thank you! Do you guys hire him for the show?
Oh, wait, wasn't even on the radar. Oh, this is Buffalo fishing right here. Oh.